Okay, we are live. Chelle, go ahead and turn on Instagram too. This is exciting. We are going with 3 live feeds at the same time. It is like technology central in here. I've got a computer on this side, a computer here, a computer over here, the phone here, the camera there. It is just all surrounding, and it is so exciting. So we're on Facebook Live, just as we are every week. Thanks for joining us. We're on YouTube Live, as we've done a few times. We haven't done it as much, but we started doing it fairly regularly. And for the second time, we're on Instagram Live. So if you want to hop around on your different networks and see what it's like, feel free, because it is really kind of fun. Now, everybody around here is going crazy because they're trying to watch so many monitors at the same time. It is kind of overwhelming. In fact, it's really overwhelming, but I thought, how cool is that? Now the oddity, and this is where it's going to be interesting, is that Facebook and YouTube both are horizontal. So you get this huge stage and you can see all these wonderful flowers that we plan to use, so many cool things. Instagram is vertical, so it's much narrower. So you can see the pumpkin, you can see the other pumpkins, you can see the roses, you can see me a little bit, but you don't know all the other fun things we're going to be bringing out because you can't see that. But if you're on Instagram and you want to see more, pop over to YouTube or pop over to Facebook. If you want to see what it looks like vertical, pop over there. It's just kind of interesting. Technology, oh my gosh, it changes every day. It's kind of scary. So how's your week going? Here we are halfway, Wednesday, hump day, 3 in the afternoon here. Might be 6 o'clock where you are on the East Coast. Might be early or might be lunchtime in Hawaii. I don't know what time it is in Australia or Romania or Iran, wherever you happen to be. It's always amazing to me how many different countries are represented. Now, taking care of bringing us live, you've got me on camera, and Chelle's going to be joining me in just a bit. Then running all the technology, keeping things going, is David, with his able assistant, Marisa, who's going to be pushing buttons like mad. But Marisa's also trying to watch all the feeds. She's got one phone set up to see Instagram, and she's got 2 computers set up so that she can see Facebook and YouTube, so that she can vocalize your questions. Because I don't read the questions till afterwards. But oftentimes you've got great questions that need to be answered live. So she'll be watching for those. Then from afar, we have Caledonia and Susie that are greeting you and getting to know you. And then we've got you. Take a moment now, post where you're from. If you're part of the tulip tribe, add your tulip. That's pretty exciting. I talked to Mar this afternoon. She called me and she's like, Leanne, I've got to do this, blah, 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 blah. What's the best technique? And I was able to say, oh, yeah, pick it. That'll be perfect, and give her that answer. But for those of you in the Flower Lovers Club, if you're wondering the technique for working with succulents, there is a whole video in the Flower Lovers Club showing the technique for succulents. So Mar, you could have checked there too, but it's easier to hear your voice and get firsthand. Hope your chili and cornbread turned out perfect. That sounded delicious. I was a little bit envious when you were talking about that, because it's truly fall here now. It's gotten cool, the air's crisp. It is chilly weather. David, anything going on out there?
Your fans in the UK are chiming in. They want you to know it's 11 p.m. there.
11 p.m. in the UK. Thanks for waiting up for me. I'm honored. Hope you're sitting there with your feet up, maybe a glass of wine in hand. Maybe you're laying in bed. Am I in bed with you? Ooh, that's kind of a scary statement, but I really am glad you joined us. So we'll be here for an hour. We've got a lot of creativity, a lot of fun to share. I want to share one product with you that was new to me, that was very exciting, that I found today. And I bought 2 bunches of it, and I'm actually taking home to my house because it was just too cool. I was like, I have to have. Let me step off stage here for just a second and grab it. You probably recognize it. If you don't, I'll tell you, it's a fuchsia. And it grows like a great big bush out in our area, but we're getting ready to have a frost. Things are going to freeze, and it's not going to be beautiful anymore. So when that happens, it's just gone. So the farms have started harvesting it and bringing it in to sell it as a cut flower so that we can enjoy it for just a few more days, maybe a week. I really don't know how long. That's why I want to take it home. I always tell people, invest in yourself. When you see something you haven't purchased before, buy one. Take it home and watch it. See how long it lasts. Really keep track and learn. So I bought this fuchsia, 2 bunches of it, to take home and put in my house so I can watch and see how long it lasts. Plus, I just love it. Don't you think that's gorgeous? Look at that draping. It's just, oh, so wonderful. So I was very grateful that the farm brought it in to sell it rather than just letting it freeze and go to mush out in the fields. So that was pretty exciting. So that's my new thing for the day. Well, let's get started. It's after 3. We got a bunch of you here. Marisa, David, anybody that we should be aware of? What's going on out there?
I can't keep up with all of this.
I know covering 3 is hard.
Yeah. I have seen a few Tulip Tribe members out there, graduates, students that are in the courses now. But Wayne, Gayla, Lori, Heather, Nancy. We have people so far that I can tell from all over the world. We have Mildred in Chile. We have Janet in Pasadena. We also have Lynn. She's from Long Lasting Impressions in Tulsa. Wow. And we have Trish in Laguna Beach, and also Dora Bloom from Romania. Hey, and then we also have Cassandra, who saw you in Montana over the weekend.
You know, I was just going to say, I wonder if any of my Montana tribe is here. I had so much fun. Montana State Floral Association Convention is one of the best. If you are close to Montana, you don't have to be a member to attend. You don't even have to be from Montana. There were people there from Wyoming, Idaho, Washington, Montana, Oregon, me. But there were people from all over that came in, and it was one of the most wonderful educational opportunities. Next year, it will be in Montana again, and I encourage you to join your states and attend these things because education is vitally important. And yes, we can do these live streams, and yes, we have fabulous online education, and yes, we have a wonderful classroom. But sometimes it's nice to have something right at your back door, and that's where the state associations can be a huge value. And I want to thank Montana for inviting me to come out. David and I had so much fun. David did his social media thing. I did things on hand-tied how-tos, and then also a tall centerpiece how-to, both hands-on workshops. It was grand fun. So if you're one of my Montana tribe, I'm glad to be home. But boy, was I glad to be with you all too. Very much fun. We better get started with designing or we're not going to get it all done. You see me fondling this pumpkin here. It is so grand. I just love the texture of this. It's got such wonderful contortions to it. This pumpkin was chosen by Chelle to work with on her first design. So Chelle, why don't you come up and join me here so that everybody can see you. Yeah, hey, I see you came up with your own cup.
I did.
Cheers.
So yeah.
So you love Halloween,
Yeah.
and you were, when I said, why don't you do a live, the first thing you said, I have to do Halloween. And
Absolutely.
I'm like, how perfect
It's a
is
fun
that?
one. Mm-hmm.
And then you showed up with these cool things.
My husband and I went to Canterbury Square Farmers Market last weekend in Tigard over off of 99, and we found this beauty, and we found another one that's hiding behind me that I did fun things with. But yeah, I was really excited about this guy. And he
That
was
is
very happy to
gorgeous.
sell it to me as well.
Oh, I bet. And we're happy to have it on camera.
Yeah.
So farmers markets are a great place to get unique pumpkins, things that are a little different, things that have more contortion to them. Or maybe you even can go out to the farm. You know, a lot of people here in town go out to Sovie's Island and do their picking. You can walk through the fields and pick up your pumpkin, and it just is so much fun. The traffic jam not quite so much
not
fun.
so much fun with that.
Yeah, on a warm weekend, or
Yeah.
I shouldn't say
Or a
warm,
rainy
on a
one.
clear weekend, the traffic just backs up forever
Yeah.
because there's only one road into the island and one road out to the island. And so the farms are packed crazy busy. They do corn mazes. Have you ever done corn mazes?
We have. My son and my husband and I did one last year, and we got caught in a thunderstorm. We were in the corn maze, and the dark clouds rolled over, and we just got drenched and running through the maze trying to find our way out.
See,
But it was a ton of fun. It was
I
a
have never
blast.
done them because my sense of direction is so bad. I've
Oh,
always
mine
been
too.
terrified
Yeah.
that I would be trapped
Yeah.
forever and not be able to get out.
Yeah, I have a horrible sense of direction too. You
Oh,
tell me
no.
west, and I'll say, is that left or right?
And I'm still like, just point.
Exactly.
I love it. So how did you do this? Because this patina is amazing.
I actually just had some crafters paint, some acrylic paint, and just made a dollop on the cardboard and took one of my little sponges, and I just sponge painted this on. So I literally just streaked it on.
So what color was it originally?
It's this actual bluish gray color. That
Oh,
is
this
the
is
true,
natural.
That's the natural color of the pumpkin.
Oh,
All
guys,
I
don't you
did-
love that?
I gilded the pumpkin.
You gilded
I
the
gilded,
pumpkin.
or as I like to say, pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, I leave the M out.
Okay.
But I gilded the rear end too. I decided to start on the bottom. That way, if I didn't like it, then I could hide it.
That makes sense. Okay.
And I liked it so much, yeah.
Yeah, so
And
if
then
you
I
guys
added
try
it-
painting, start on the bottom.
Exactly.
See if you like
see
it.
if you like
If
it.
you don't, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an excellent lesson from Teacher
Yes.
Chelle.
Yes. And then I put a little copper on the stem with a little bit more gold. So just made it kind of fun.
Very beautiful.
Added some, but yeah, that's the true color.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
why I like
So what
him
are we
so
going to do
much.
with this little
So
guy,
we're
other
going
than just
to-
sit here and fondle?
Rather than just hug him and play
I
with him.
know.
I'm going to just glue some stuff to him. He is too dense to be able to cut into. And not only that, but why would you? Why would I
Exactly,
wouldn't
because
want to
this
take
will
the top of
last
this
so
off. Mm-hmm.
long. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
think your glue is right over there.
Okay.
And what can I hand you?
So I'm going to start with
I'm
this
going to move my
moss
coffee
here.
here. Okay.
And I
Spanish
think
moss.
I'm
okay.
looking at my markers here so I can stay in view of everybody with all these different platforms that we're on.
I know, it's
don't
kind of fun to
get
learn how
caught
this
off
all works
stage.
together.
Yeah. So yeah, some Spanish moss, and I'm just gonna kind of literally dab a little glue in here. No rhyme or no reason to how I'm doing this. It's just glob it on, really. I just want it to not totally just slip right off of it, so it's just a little bit to adhere to.
Those of you that follow us on YouTube, if you check out the YouTube channel, and if you don't follow us, you should, but the Flower School YouTube channel, just last Tuesday, our Tuesday tip was working with cold glue. So you can go and take a look at that. And it has some techniques and tips for doing that. So that'll be on the YouTube channel, Tulip Tuesday. Techniques for cold glue, and if you have ever been frustrated with it, it can kind of help you out. Oh, the tillandsia, oh my gosh,
I know I love these guys.
you know, the tillandsia is just gorgeous, and they're so perfect.
They're like little
Perfect,
creatures
perfect, perfect. I got to bring it up close to the camera so that everybody can see. Does that show a little better there? Maybe a little more? There, okay. Got to make sure that everybody can see the tillandsia. They last forever.
Mm-hmm.
So you just pulled it apart.
I just, yeah, whoops, I pulled a bunch of his little tentacles off.
So we have tillandsia fronds.
Yes. I'm going to add a little bit more glue here so he's really stuck in there.
Want me to hold him while you do some stuff?
Sure.
I can be a light bit of pressure.
There you go. So just adding a little glue here and there. I want to have, I might have to turn him around so I can kind of see where his little arms are going there.
They're going wherever
They're going
he
wherever
wants
they
to
want,
go.
and that's fine by me. That's what I want him to do. I want him to have some.
What you got there,
Marisa.
Marisa?
We got to do a huge shout out to Heather DeLong. So she was a graduate of Floral Design Institute back in 2017, and she is now the right-hand man of a new shop owner and lead designer.
Congratulations,
Yay!
Heather. I am so proud of you. You really have pushed yourself so far past your comfort zone, and look what that did. That courage and that bravery, it has allowed you to bloom, as we like to say. I'm so proud of you. That is really exciting. You know, it is scary sometimes to make changes in your life, and scary to think, yes, I can do this. Scary to sign up for flower school. It takes courage and it takes bravery, but it's so worth it, because when you get to do something you love every day, when you get to have a career that brings you personal joy and satisfaction, it's pretty fabulous. So good job, Heather. That's very exciting. Proud of you. And I think I might be seeing you in Chicago when we go there next year for AIFD. If I hear the rumors correctly, I'm thinking that you're still thinking about that. Plus it's drivable for you, which makes it nice. David, you got anything there?
Well, you've got a huge crowd. It's hard for Marisa and I to keep up. We've got 150 on Facebook and over 100 on YouTube. I don't know how many we've got on Instagram. But
Wow.
Kim centers on and says hello.
Hey, Kim.
The BLT girls are here again.
Hey,
We love
Loretta.
them. Todd Sweden has joined us today.
Hi, Todd.
Jeannie Davis is here.
Hi, Jeannie.
Jeannie was just with me in Montana and was helping with the hand tie class. We had a hand tie workshop with 50 people.
Oh my goodness.
But you know what? They did great.
That's
They
awesome.
rocked it. It
That
was
is just
so
awesome.
amazing.
Well, I have to do a shout out to Jeannie, one of my trees.
The trees, that's right. Well, and Jedi just graduated, who works with them, and so she just graduated, just got her certificate, and they just celebrated yesterday.
Yes.
So
Fantastic.
congratulations, Jedi. We're very, very proud of you. And now it's time to get on to your advanced studies. Get on it, because you're going to go far. I heard good things about you from your team. So Denise was there, Jeannie was there. They
That's
both were
awesome.
helping me out. It was just
So cool.
it was way fun. And yes, the trees were
my
there.
trees were there.
How fun.
That's a story that Leanne told us about, just having poise and posture and having being brave about a new adventure and everything. And you talked about just be a tree.
Be a tree.
So that was our thing, is we were
tall.
being trees when we were there in Seattle.
Yeah.
And we tested together. So
and
yeah.
you passed.
And we passed.
Because you were all
exactly.
strong trees.
And we were all very strong trees.
I love
Thanks
it.
to you. We had good teachers.
I love it.
So-
Marisa, have you got anything going on out there?
Yeah, I do, because I find this quite impressive. I haven't seen this at all since I've done live with you all. You have so many people from all over the world. So on YouTube, from what I can, keep up, you have Lourdes in Spain, Elia in Madrid, Greg in Canada, Carmelina in Australia, Meliana in Brazil. And then on Facebook, you have Nicole from Germany, Rabab from Egypt, Edna from Mexico City, and Stephen from Ireland.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I've got.
That's
okay.
intimidating.
Wow.
Okay, for the tribe, this is for you. Let's really, really, really stress out Marisa and David and Caledonia and Susie, because we just get to sit up here and play with flowers.
yay.
We just get to play with flowers. Take a moment, tag a friend, tell them, get on here. Let's really overwhelm them. Share this out. Make
you
it go
guys.
huge. Spread the word so that Marisa and Caledonia and Susie and David are just pulling their hair out, because I think it'd be kind of funny. And then we'll
Love
just
you
sit up here and
guys.
play.
Love you guys.
I told, when I sent the email out to the staff telling them what we were doing and the tulip team was getting ready, I said, and Leanne's just going to sit and drink coffee and eat bonbons.
Yep.
But they're all working really hard. So as you can, please tag a friend. Say, come on over, pay attention, and then share this out so that you spread the word and have everybody come see. Because I know Chelle has yet another pumpkin to do that's going to be pretty amazing.
do.
She's got so much cool stuff.
Excited about it. Ooh, I'm getting glue on the table. Look at that.
Oh
I'm
my
excited.
gosh. I'm going to have to have Brian come in and sand it down.
Yeah, really. My husband, the handyman.
That's right. Although you'd probably come do it yourself. You
Well,
sort
yeah,
of can
that's
do
true.
it all too.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed at your skills. You just sort of have it all. So now the Eryngium gives that nice little blue that picks up
Yes.
the patina of the
Really
pumpkin. And the succulents just are grand. Now the thing that's cool about this, with it just glued on, This is going to last through November easy because succulents just hold. If you wanted to, you could mist them periodically, but they're not going to go anywhere. Tillandsia, that's just going to hold. Eryngium, totally fine.
I've turned this around so I can see it, so I'm going to have to turn it back around again because I added a few more tillandsia, and I really like the way it's looking.
Yeah, I'm glad you're working hard so I can just sit here and drink coffee.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I keep, I said, I keep getting glue on the table, so.
Actually, Greg says you can also try leaf shine on the table.
Oh,
And then I would
good
have
idea.
a glue-free shiny table.
There we go.
That is true. We'll be cleaning
So-
this all up, I'm sure.
So I went foraging through my yard, as well as the things that you purchased today. And I have snowberry in my yard, which I absolutely love. Although it has the tendency to get the powdery mildew. And I learned recently that that's just nature of the beast. It's just the way it goes. So often I will just defoliate it and just take the leaves right off of it, and it still looks really cute, nice white berries. Give this a little bit more texture in here with these little guys. I've got kind of a larger piece here.
I'm going
That will
to
work.
put a towel down. They're
Yeah.
picking up some of the table noise, and that can be
Oh,
distracting.
gotcha.
You know, so some people like to be calm and meditation,
And I'm excited.
and they're just eating their dinner and drinking a glass of wine,
Yeah.
and then you go, I won't do that.
Yeah.
Clunk, and it really makes them kind of cranky. So
Yeah.
I'll just give you a little towel.
That
That'll
works
blunt
for
the noise
me.
a little bit.
All right, so I'm gonna get this guy in here. And then if you wouldn't mind handing me some of that sage.
Oh.
That sage just looks too fabulous to pass up. So it is so
See
pretty.
the sage? Isn't that grand?
And it's hardened
It's
off.
so beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It's the most wonderful, and it smells good too.
Yes. that's
But
the
yeah,
best
it will
part.
hold in there nicely and give you some wonderful texture.
Get that little guy in there.
I'm going
And
to turn
this-
it so they can see for a second because the snowberry really adds. Now you guys can see it with the snowberry on there. It makes it so nice.
Get this little piece in there. And this is hardened off so well that I think this will dry really nicely. I don't think it's going to lose a whole lot of its shape or get like really wilty.
You know, I had bought some a couple of weeks ago and took it home, and it did. It just dried.
Yeah.
It didn't change anything.
That's fantastic.
So it was perfect.
So it'll be good. I'm going to get one more piece back here just to kind of fill in the back.
So Marisa, David, while she's finishing her gluing here, anything else going on out there?
We have someone on Facebook, and we don't know their name, but I assume the name of the shop is Romulus Flower Shop. They're from Michigan and just opened their own flower shop on August 22nd and watches us every week.
Wow.
Welcome. Thank
So,
you.
August 22nd, that is brand new. You've been there a little over a month, and now we're going into the busy time with Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and pretty darn exciting. So congratulations, and I feel privileged to be part of your flower shop every week. We love that. You know, what a great way, an hour's worth of collaboration and learning with the tribe. So if you've got questions for Chelle about what she's doing, type it in. If you haven't invited a friend to come join and overwhelm the others, do so. And then this is just beautiful. So
Thank you.
the snowberries out of your yard.
Yes.
Oh my
I have
gosh.
2 really large bushes of it, and they're just nodding over. They're so heavy.
We should
It
show
can
people
touch
what
the
it
ground.
looks like. So this is snowberry. Look how full and lush that is. Oh, it's just gorgeous. So grand. Okay.
So it's kind of fun watching where people are from and what they're doing. Andrew McPhee is making dinner right now, and Vicky V is having coffee for breakfast.
I love
Fantastic. That's awesome. Like I said, it's a little overwhelming too.
Okay, so we've got breakfast, we've got so much going on. It is too full. So shall we
Okay.
start your other one?
Yeah,
Get that
I
one
think
out?
so.
I'm gonna take this one and set it out of the way so you've
Okay.
got more room. There you go. And that way you can pull your things up.
Desktop, just a little bit. So this one was more of an experiment than the last one. I saw online the other day, somebody had painted a pumpkin, and I don't know if it was dipped or if they had spray painted it, and I told Leanne, I said, that's what I want to do. And then silly me, I got it here and thought I could carve it really quick and just take the top off, and lo and behold, it's just too tough. It will not, I cannot get the lid off of this. So we punted, and we put Oasis, or excuse me, the little
Igloo holders?
Yeah, igloo holder
Yeah.
on top of here, and I just did that with a little bit of pan glue and just stuck it right on top there.
Isn't that the way it always is, though, is we have these visions and we know what we want, and then you go to do it and it's like, oh, this isn't quite working the way I thought it would. And that's the true sign of a professional, is you know all these different techniques, you know all these different ways, and you go, okay, well, A didn't work,
Yeah.
so I'm going to try B.
Now we go with B.
B didn't work, so I go to C.
Mhm.
And that's one of the joys of flower school, is you learn all the different techniques, and then you know, okay, well, this didn't work, this this all of a sudden works.
All these little fun techniques and tricks and stuff that you just have in the back of your head, or I call your toolbox. And it's just like every once in a while you got to pull it out of your toolbox and try something new.
Well, and you mentioned pan melt, which a lot of people may not be familiar with pan melt. And that's something we teach in the advanced class, because there's so many different adhesives, and learning what adhesive works for what. So yes, we use a lot of the cold glue for different things, but the pan melt, it comes in these little pillows, like you can, like candy pieces almost, and you actually heat it and melt it. We use a little frying pan, melt it, and then you dip whatever it is into that. And it is a wonderful glue for this type of application.
That guy is stuck on there. You could easily pry it off,
But it's not
it's not
gonna
gonna
stay
go
put.
anywhere.
So what did you use to paint this pumpkin?
So,
You said you painted.
Again, I started on the bottom of it to see if it would hold, and now I can see in transportation it's kind of chipped a little bit, but I did wash the pumpkin very well and dried it off. And then I started with the burgundy,
Okay.
and then I came back with some of the, this is the matte finish, this is that, this isn't the tint one, but this is the other one, it's the uber matte.
So there's shiny and then matte, so you got two different
And
finishes.
the peony, it's funny because it's way pinker than it looks like on the
Oh,
on
really?
the label. So just so you know, it comes out really, really, really pink. And then I went back over the top of it with the purple tint, because these two together, it was almost too red and it looked really kind of gross.
Ah,
Because it looked like blood.
right. And you had to find the
And I
perfect
didn't want a
hue.
bloody pumpkin, so.
No. So this worked out really well with
So,
the
yeah.
threesome on there, and I think that's really what we all have to do, is kind of mix our colors to
Just
get
play
the
with it.
exact hue you want. Plus, it gives
Yeah.
such variation, so that it works out well. Marisa?
Do you think spray painting it will also help it last longer, like not rot?
Possibly, yeah. I don't see why not. I mean, it
Seal
was
it?
kind of seal it. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say yeah,
Yeah.
but I have no proof. But,
Well, we'll see
you know,
what
it sounds
happens.
like a good idea to me. I would think it would seal it in
I'll
there.
take it home and I'll put it on my front porch and we'll let you know how long it lasts.
Oh, fun.
All right.
So, what do you need for that guy?
So, well, we've got so many fantastic things. I don't even know where to start here. I think I want to start with some of the dogwood. If I can get that out of there. I really like these branches. This is also for my yard. I have so many fun little things in my yard.
Chelle?
Yes.
Darlene's Flowers off of Instagram actually wants to know what that color of pumpkin was originally.
It was originally an orange pumpkin with a kind of like greenish colored warts, which gives it all that texture and everything. So yeah.
So it was
It's
originally
just a-
orange. See,
Yeah.
we never leave anything the
Regular.
same, ever.
Yeah. So I'm gonna come in with this.
So this gives it a water source, so that's kind of nice.
I'm gonna use a few. Oh, there we go.
Just some sticks, yeah.
The sticks work just as
Dogwood
well.
is so wonderful.
I love
At all
dogwood.
phases, when it's blooming, when it's fresh leaves, when it's fading leaves, when it's barren, it just
Yeah.
is so structural.
Yeah, I got this just in time, just before the leaves started to fall, so it's a really pretty color. I'm gonna shorten that up a little bit more. Hey, there.
So the pan glue, the yellow glue, we're having a little bit of a, people think it's Oasis glue. Can you show them that it's pan melt glue?
Right. This particular one did come from the Oasis company, but it is pan melt. So you really got to be careful and get the right thing. But it comes in these pillows that looks like hard candy, and it's a yellowy, waxy based glue. And you actually melt it then in a frying pan. So you heat it up and gets hot. So it's like a hot glue, but it doesn't go in the gun. It goes in a pan, and it has a different glue base than hot glue. So where hot glue would pop off of this pumpkin, it wouldn't stay on. Pan melt will adhere and stick with it. And that's one of the things when we teach the advanced class. There's certain glues that you use for certain things, and you need to know how to use Oasis Floral Adhesive, you need to know how to use pan melt, you need to use 3M Super 77, you need to know about Lomi glue, you need to know about a glue gun, but all these glues have different applications. You would never use the same ones for each thing. U-glue, yet another glue type. And so one of our lectures is just which glue for which task so that it works. So pan melt in this application was the perfect one. And that one, so that'll help clarify that for everybody. Other thoughts, David, Marisa?
I do want to mention that Jacqueline Go is actually hosting a watch party on her page, and says it's so grand.
How fun! You know, Jacqueline, you might be our first watch party. I've never been part of a watch party on the live that I'm aware of. So, Jacqueline, that's pretty darn exciting. Oh my gosh, thank you. Huh, how fun is that? How many of you guys have ever done watch parties? That's kind of a question. Have you done a watch party, either led it or attended one? That's kind of, I know about them, but I've never done one. How cool is that? Oh my gosh. I'm part of a watch party.
I know. That's
Oh my
pretty fun. That's pretty cool.
Should we watch together?
I
Where's
know,
ours?
I
Should
know,
we go?
that's what
We
I was
gotta be on the
thinking
watch
too.
party.
Maybe we should have a watch party after this so we can watch ourselves.
That might take a couple beers.
That might take a couple.
Marisa, what you got there?
This is a great question, and I would say no, but I want to hear your thoughts. So Greg wants to know if glue sticks can be melted in the pan melt.
They will melt, but no, do not do that because it is a different glue. It's the wax content and glue content ratio, and the hot glue that goes through a glue gun is totally 100% different than the glue that goes into a frying pan. So please don't try to substitute. I have horror story after horror story of people who have tried to use the wrong glues. Maybe they were doing wrist corsages and gluing them, but they didn't use the correct glue, and then they fall apart. And then the poor little promer or homecomer has got just this bracelet with nothing on it. You gotta have the professional knowledge of which glue when. So that's a good question. Can you melt it? Yes, you can. Should you melt it? No, you should not, because it would not work the same. You've definitely got to use pan melt. It's a totally different beast. Marisa.
Vicky actually wants to know if you have all of this information on glues in the Flower Lovers Club.
Oh, you know what? I don't, but you know what? I think I should. Don't you think so? Okay, somebody make a note. We need glue knowledge in the Flower Lovers Club, because yes, that would be a perfect thing to put there. So good question on that one. So in my spare time, when I don't have anything else to do, we'll get that in there, because that's an excellent one. I think that's grand. It is in the advanced class, so any of you that join us for advanced studies, it's all included there. So we'll get a Cliff's Notes version into the Flower Lovers Club. If you're not in the club and you wonder what that is, it's 5 private libraries that all are much more focused educationally, because what we do on live is fun. It's inspiration, it's collaboration. What we do on our free videos is just inspiration and fun. And then in a club, we go far more into education, but it's the Cliff's Notes version. It's like a quickie reminder. And then in our online courses, that's where we go into the focused education, because there's so much that you absolutely must know as a certified professional, and that's where we keep that in the courses. David?
Your fans want to know what flowers you're using right now.
So I like to call this brains. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that one. It's Halloween, right? This is actually coxcomb.
It's a celosia variety.
Celosia variety, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that it's in the same family as amaranthus.
I believe it is related.
Yes,
Yes.
somehow related. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what that is.
And it comes in so many different colors, greens, reds,
yellow.
and some varieties. My mother-in-law grew, no, actually it was my mother-in-law's friend grew one and gave it to me that was more than 18 inches across.
Oh my
It was the
goodness.
most humongous celosia I've ever seen in my life. And it dries beautifully too. So
Yeah.
we've got some vine maple, we've got dogwood, we've got the coxcomb celosia, and then we've got amaranthus.
Yes.
And now you've got roses.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop you for a second and turn it so everybody
Okay.
can see what you've got, because she's been working on the backside. Okay, isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Just a little bit. So, fun story about this amaranthus that I have here. This was a volunteer in my yard. I brought all sorts of fun stuff from my yard
You
today.
did.
So, in the place where I dump my buckets, and just before I clean all my buckets, apparently there was some amaranthus seeds in there, and this seeded in the gravel in my driveway. And my husband thought it was so cool that we actually put a tomato cage over the top of it.
To
And
protect
to
it?
protect it, and he's been watering it and nurturing it and everything. So I asked him the other day, "What are you going to do with it?" He goes, "I don't know. I guess I'll just take it down when it freezes." And I said, "Well, I will have another use for it before it freezes." So this was the tallest part, and it probably got about 36 inches tall.
Oh, wow.
And that started just from August.
How fun.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun watching
Oh
that
my
thing.
gosh.
But oddly enough, it was right at the back end of his truck where the exhaust from his truck would blow on it every morning. So apparently it liked that because it just
took off.
took off.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
You know, it's when I talked to you about doing this, and you said, "Oh, let's do Halloween," and then I said, "Well, what do you need?" And you're like, "Oh, whatever." And so I stopped and got some things, but then she showed up with just all these treasures from her yard. Brings me to the question: where do you turn for your inspiration? What makes you think of these things besides the amaranthus that just showed up
That just
by
shows
magic?
up in my yard. I'm honestly, I'm very inspired by nature and just the colors and the textures and everything that you can just pick out of your yard or roadsidea. So I really liked bringing in a lot of colors and textures and stuff. On the other side of that, technology can be very inspiring as well. So going on to Instagram and seeing what other people are doing and doing little spin-offs of stuff that you've already seen, because really, aren't we just reinventing the bell bottoms over and over again?
There are really no new ideas. It's just a reinterpretation.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Pinterest, Instagram, magazines, just, kind of wherever.
Just keeping your eyes open then.
Yeah. I need a little bit more extension here. I've kind of got this little snowball of amaranthus and things happening here.
Do you want to try some of the sage?
Oh,
that
yes,
is
here's some
tinted?
of the
Do you
rose
want-
hips.
Okay. Do you want the pinker or the butterscotch?
I think the pinker.
Okay, there's some hips.
Thank you.
Shell, you're getting a lot of thumbs up and waves, and this is beautiful on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you. It's always fun to be here.
Yeah, as you guys are watching, if you like what you're seeing, tap the screen. Give Chelle some love. Tag a friend. Keep Marisa and David on their toes. Caledonia and Susie trying to greet everybody. Share out the video because you can see Chelle's got so much talent to share. We hate to keep it quiet. We want everybody to know just how cool it is. And she works and does all these beautiful things. So share the love, spread it out. Now,
Thank you.
you've been teaching in the night class.
Yes.
Monday nights you've been with the
Yes.
night class, and then you're in the day class, so you go both of them. And you've done
Yeah.
some of our online students too.
I have, yes.
So if you've taken class, you've had Chelle here. If you've been online, Chelle may have done one of your evaluations because she really does a little bit of everything. She is an amazing floral artist with so many different skills that it just makes it nice and easy. And then now I just added her to our company insurance because I found out she can drive big trucks. I'm like, oh my God. So next time when we need a big truck, you're on the
I get to drive
insurance.
the
I've got
truck.
it. I've got the letter saying Chelle Dummer is on. And I'm like, yes. Because I had to drive it last time, but she says, well, I can drive those. I'm like, really? I didn't know that. So now you're insured so that you can be the driver.
Back it up.
Marisa, what you got?
So John wants to know, how would you keep the igloo hydrated?
Honestly, if you have this outside, you could just pour water on top of it or just leave it out in the rain and it would just continue to hydrate itself. Inside, I would probably put it in the sink and let some water drip over the top of it and let it drain really good and dry it off really well before you put it back on any surface. But yeah, just super simple, just a little watering can and just tip it in there or just spritz it with water on a regular basis.
Once it's soaked completely, adding water is easy.
Yeah.
It's just that first soaking that you've got to be
Yeah.
so careful that you don't want any air pockets. Then it is just getting it added in. That sage, it is tinted.
know,
This isn't a
so
natural
fun.
color. The natural color is this sort of gray that you see down at the bottom. So there's the natural color, and then there's the tinted color. And I knew when I saw that today, I thought, oh, that's going to be so cool.
Okay, so there was one more thing that I wanted to add to this.
Ah,
I'm stealing some of it.
my fuchsia.
I don't want to take the
That's
really
why I
loud
only
ones.
that's why I only brought in 2 branches,
There you
because I
go.
knew somebody would
Yep,
use my
Somebody
fuchsia.
would use it. This is fantastic.
But this will be good because it can give us an idea of how long it will last in floral foam.
Yes.
So that's another learning curve. So that'll be great.
And I'm going with the shorter ones just because of that. So hopefully they'll drink a little bit longer. But I'll bring.
Oh, that's the color is so perfect with this,
Yeah.
and it adds depth over the top. Grand. Very
I'll turn it
nice.
around in just a minute, I promise.
I know.
I'm too short to design the other direction, so
Designing backwards has its challenges, that is for sure.
in the classroom it's one thing because the table's a little bit shorter, but I didn't wear my heels today. So.
So do you have any questions for Chelle? Because if she finishes this one, then she'll turn it around, and then I know she's got one more thing she'll be sharing with you. But get your questions out. So Marisa, David, anything we need to know?
So we do have someone on Instagram. Do you all know is the painted pumpkins an actual trend that's happening right now?
I've seen a few on Instagram. That's where I got the inspiration. I was just, paging around looking to see what other people were doing, and I saw quite a few of them. A lot of them just like the gilded pumpkins, like the last one that I just showed you. But I saw the one that was this really pretty color, and I just had to see what we could do with it.
I think you are going to see more and more painting. Color shifting, color tinting, color enhancing is all on trend across the board, and you're seeing more dyed products. So it makes sense that the painted pumpkins would be on trend as well. Now, this product that you're using right now is called
Yes.
pokeberry. If
Yeah.
you're from Indiana, it is a noxious weed practically.
And that's kind of what it is here too. I'm going to turn this
Does it
around.
grow in
so you
your
can-
yard too?
It does grow in my yard. This came from my yard as well. And it was a volunteer a number of years ago.
I
It
didn't
just
realize
one-
pokeberry would grow here.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I've always known it as pokeweed, but yeah, it volunteered and grew to like 10 feet tall. And it stayed, we'd knock it down and it'd come back every spring, it'd grow the same height. And then all of a sudden this year it was gone and it grew in another spot. It was
Now
the
that's
strangest thing.
strange. Oh my gosh. The thing that you need to be aware of if you are using pokeberry is it's highly poisonous. So you've got to be cautious of that. And it's highly dyeing of your hands. I had some berries that I got onto my hands and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm purple now.
Yes.
So it is something you want to be a little cautious with. Don't want it on your finest tablecloth
No.
because it would be destroyed. And you certainly don't want it around children because it is very poisonous.
Oddly
But
enough,
it is
though,
gorgeous.
So I remember that it is poisonous, but I had what we believe to be golden finches that came and decimated the plant. They ate almost every single berry.
And they didn't die?
And they did not die. They were not falling out of my trees.
Interesting.
But it's the only bird that I've seen that will eat them. So this actually doesn't even have any of the berries on it. This
Right.
is just the plucked stem that's left over. And yeah, I'm getting all painted now, but yeah.
Isn't that gorgeous? What do you guys think? I'm going to pull it back so that it's back a little bit, and then that way we can show it with the bare background so that it shows well. If you like it, tap the screen. If you don't like it, tap the screen anyway, because I think it's pretty fabulous. I think it's just grand. I'm going to dry your table because the igloo has let the water escape as you displaced it in there. So I'm going to dry that off a little bit. Now, here is the berries when it is really the berries, so you can see what it looks like. Because not everybody knows what pokeweed is. And it is a very cool looking product. I know the very first time I ever saw it was on the farm in Indiana, where we were back visiting my in-laws, and we went out to the pond, and there was a whole area that was just covered with pokeberry. And I was in heaven. I was gathering it up and like, oh, look at this is so cool. And they're all like, it's a weed.
It's a weed.
And I'm like, no, it's not a weed. It's the most beautiful thing in the whole wide world.
Fantastic.
And they're like, it's a weed. But don't you love that weed? Pretty grand.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's pretty awesome.
Rick Niznik actually said he had to rip it out of his yard because it was so invasive.
It is. It does take over. I mean, back by the pond, the entire back side was just filled with that pokeweed, and which is why they call it weed. And it is taken over. So I know, well, you just kind of dry yourself off there. I know you had a couple of other things. You want to scoot that maybe my direction or back there?
I'm just gonna scoot it right there.
Okay, and then we'll get this out.
My little backdrop.
And then we can bring it back
With the
out when you get
greens.
this done.
Yes.
So these are just some vases off of my shelf that were things I've collected. I have no
Match
idea
perfectly.
where they came from. So what else can I hand you now?
We've got some fabulous green tree thingies over here. Why is that name escaping me?
Some vine maple.
Vine maple.
Which I had also
Tree
bought for
thingies.
my house that you are now chopping
Technical
up.
name. I'm only using a little, I promise.
Yeah. I was making my house autumn, and all of a sudden, it's okay.
She
Leanne
didn't
won't
say
miss
it was off limits.
No, there's
So-
plenty. And you know, it's for the tribe, so
That's
Leanne
right.
doesn't need it at home. It doesn't matter. It's okay. I'll be
Well,
all right.
You will probably have to defoliate some of this anyways, so we'll defoliate for you.
Oh,
and then
okay.
those are just awesome to just kind of like lay around the house.
We could have place markers. And
I like it.
I could have a dinner party.
There you go.
Yeah.
Spray paint them gold. You can get fancy. It'll be
Yeah.
fantastic. So I just need one little piece right there. I'm gonna put that guy over there,
Okay.
and then one little piece of this one. This one has the most fabulous color,
Isn't that gorgeous?
and I'm trying really hard not to hit the microphone, but I'm really excited about this color. I'm gonna thank
There
you.
we go.
And I think we might need two pieces on this one just because it's not as fluffy as the other. And I don't want to
there you
take that
go.
one apart.
I have a question about fuchsia. A
Okay.
lot of questions. Do
Okay.
you know how long it lasts off the plant?
See, that's why I bought it. That's an excellent question. I have no idea. And so this was a new product for me. I thought I need to buy some and study it. Find out how long it lasts. Will it work in foam? Will it work in water? So I bought 2 bunches to take home and experiment with. So I'll report in next week what I find out about the fuchsia. But this is brand new to me. I've only seen it as a plant out in the garden before. I've never used it as a cut flower. So this will be pretty fascinating. It does seem very hardy and very sturdy. As I was messing around with it, getting it in water, getting it ready, it doesn't seem like it's going to be wilty and bad. It seems like it's going to be a good laster, but we'll find out, and I'll report in next week. So, good question. And my challenge to each of you, every single one of you, all the time, is when you see something different and unique, take it home and watch it. Learn about it. I'm going to give you the towel.
Yep.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh.
Of
These are-
course, my bracelets don't help at all.
This is just, I just thought this is kind of funny. So Christy, in when she grew up in southern eastern Ohio, pokeberries are the first thing country kids learn not to eat.
Okay, because
Very
pokeberry, if you ate it, you wouldn't be a country adult. You would be a sick country kid. I don't know if it's that deadly, but yeah, you would learn not to eat that
Yeah.
pretty quickly, definitely.
Wouldn't want to try.
Now this is so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
No.
This is also from her yard.
Mm-hmm.
It's coleus that has gone ahead and bolted. But look at the color. And when she was telling me about her pumpkin, I thought, oh, this is just so perfect. So the
So
coleus is
originally
going
that
out.
was supposed to go in my pumpkin,
But
into floral foam, but couldn't get the lid off of it, so that's just
so
the
then
way
it goes in my vases.
Exactly.
So that's even better.
I had a blast with coleus this year. I did not plant any flowers. Sorry, I'm not trying to poke you in the face there.
I'll stay on my
There
side
you
of the
go.
table.
You stay on your side of the table. I just planted coleus in my flower pots in my big pots in the backyard, and they just went crazy, and they're just gorgeous. And these were actually really tall. They were much taller than they look right now.
If you've been to the Learning Center, the planters out front, Chelle did those for us. And this year was really special. It's the second year. The geraniums wintered over beautifully, and they just turned out great. It's been so nice to have a resident plant expert because she just took charge and said, those are really ugly, and fixed them and made them right.
I
because
didn't
they
quite
were really
say
ugly.
that.
Well, they were ugly, and I know that.
I said they needed help.
They needed help. They needed a little bit of love. Oh my gosh. So we've got about 5 more minutes or so. If you've got a question, get it in there. If you like what you're seeing, tap the screen, tag a friend, share the video, because we definitely want to spread the love for Chelle so that she knows that you enjoyed it. David, Marisa, anything that we need to know?
I just want to say, because this is my first time, reading off of Instagram, and I'm so impressed with the Instagram viewers because they're answering each other's questions, so I don't really have to.
Don't you love the tribe? That's one of the things about this collaboration that makes me so happy, is you all support and help each other. So thank you. And if you know an answer or you know a technique or a tip, type it in there. Make sure you share it with everyone because it really does make a difference when we all support each other. Marisa.
So speaking of tips, actually Robin Fineglass asked earlier and was actually reaching out to the whole tribe if anyone has any recommendations of a ribbon vendor.
If you have a favorite ribbon vendor, put it in the feed. I don't have any that I can say this is the best. So if you have one that you think is the best, put it in there so that she can then do her research, because ribbon's back in style, just as the paints are back in style. What else you got there?
All right, a lot of people asking about coleus. How long does that last? Did you treat it before you cut it?
So this I just cut out of the planter last night and left it in water. I didn't put it in my cooler. I just, honestly, it sat in my kitchen in a bucket last night. But I did cut a couple of pieces last Saturday and put it in floral foam, and it's still standing tall.
Okay.
Granted, the flower foam is shallow, so it's still getting a really good drink, but it actually held up in foam quite well.
See, I think that's the trick when you put anything in foam, is if you have an adequate water reservoir for it, then it's going to hold fabulously. If it dries out, it's not going to. Now, this is gomphrena. Some people call it clover, but it is not related to clover
I
at
call it
all.
bunny food.
But it is so cute. Very, very cute.
Yeah, can you
Need
hand
some
me the
more?
rest of that? Yes.
I have another question.
Uh-huh.
I think this is a very great question from, I believe you say her name, is it Ewa, E-W-A-U-A? How do you treat all of your greens and or flowers from your yard to avoid having insects on your table and in your house?
Yeah, sometimes you got to kind of watch for that. I will really take a good look at them before I before I prune things back. And if it looks like I've got a pest, then I just won't use it. If it looks like maybe it's got a few, then I'll just give it a good rinse, submerge it in some water, double check the backs of the leaves. I cut out of my garden quite often for everyday orders as well. So I'm very careful about that and just watch it. That's about all you can do. Just take a really good look under the leaves before you put it on the table.
That is so
Experiment.
true, because when you do harvest your own, Mother Nature has critters, and you might find some. I know when we were at the creative retreat, we had a wagon full of leftover things that we left outside, and then I wheeled it down to the workshop, and a little, well, not even a little, a big slug had made its way up into that, and so somebody goes to grab their stuff and there was a slug on it. Like, oh my God. Because sometimes critters hijack and they just kind of come on.
Sometimes
Those were
they
not
do.
slugs. They were like mini dinosaurs.
They were mini dinosaurs. They were huge.
They were really, really,
really
really
big.
huge. Yeah, the garden is a good home for slugs. So.
All right,
So
hopefully this is looking good from the front, because I am designing backwards, so you guys
it
will have
looks
to
good.
let me know.
Yeah. So Chelle,
How
we've
it's
got just a
going.
couple minutes. If you had somebody in class that had just begun, or maybe somebody who hasn't begun yet, somebody who's just thinking about floral as a career and getting started, one of your students that says, Chelle, if you had one bit of advice, what would you tell me? And what do you think? What would be your most important thing for someone just getting started in flower school and floral training?
Probably trust your instincts. I mean, sometimes you just have to kind of like listen to your heart. I think we can tend to get really, really critical of ourselves, especially when we come to school, when we're really trying to explore something new, and we can get overly critical about what we're doing. So allowing yourself to just take a moment and breathe and be a tree. There's just something about just having that confidence and knowing that we're not expecting you to know everything when you step into our classroom. We're here to teach you guys and to give you guys all sorts of things to put in your toolbox so you can grow as a florist. So just take the time to breathe and pack your toolbox.
Yeah, I love that. The technique toolbox. We always say what is in your toolbox. And what's in your toolbox is what's in your head, so that you know this technique, that technique, that technique, so that then when you get new flowers, you know that, oh, I know how to do this. And you're right, fill that toolbox up.
Yeah.
And I like that, trust your instincts.
Yeah,
because
don't be overly critical.
sometimes we're so hard on ourselves.
We are our own worst critic.
Yeah, and that's really not necessary.
No,
because
it's not.
like this, you did it backwards, you were brave, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just doing this and I don't know. And you did it.
Yay!
So let's put your pumpkin up here.
Okay.
And that way they can see it all together. And kind of, that'll be our finale with it together. I'm going to move this out of the way so that
Get that.
it doesn't mess it up. And then David and Marisa, you help us. Are we staging things well? Does it show? Does it look pretty? Maybe scoot that one a little bit that way, because that way the Instagram people will see more of it. There we go. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you like it? Are we close? Do I need to scooch a little more? That way? There we go. Now, did that mess up Facebook? Yep, got to pull it back.
Instagram, it's kind of skinny.
Yeah, I know. It's always challenging. So what do you think? Do you like it? If you love it, tap your screen. Do a shout out to Susie, shout out to Caledonia, shout out to Chelle, yay! And Marisa and David, yay, because they kept us going. And a shout out to you, each of you that helped answer questions, each of you who asked questions, each of you who gave us an hour of your life. We really appreciate that. We'll be back next week, Wednesday at 3, same time. We'll have more fun. But for now, I think it's time to go sit down, maybe have a glass of wine, put our feet up, and enjoy all your hard work. But thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Bye for now. So Marisa, if you want to push the button on the